Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. I greet you all with the blessings of the feast. A very quick word on these very important events in the life of the Lord. The story is that this is the presentation of the Lord according to the custom of the temple. And after the 40 days of purification, for a male, the mother would come and present the child. She would go through this service in order to be purified, in order to be able to return. And what we have here is St. Simeon is at the temple. And St. Simeon has a history, because tradition says that he is one of the scholars who was translating the Septuagint, the Old Testament. And when it got to the part where it said the virgin was to bring forth a child, he doubted. And he questioned. And so tradition says that God extended his life in order to do what? In order to show him the fulfillment of the prophecy. And so he is there in the temple on the occasion of the presentation. So when we understand that, we understand why he says, Lord, what? Now you have allowed your servant may depart in peace, according to your word. For my eyes have seen thy salvation, which you have prepared before the face of all peoples. He's lived a long life, but now he has seen the salvation of the world. He has seen the incarnate word. But imagine this. He's got two, of course not equal, but immense miracles standing before him. He's got the incarnate word which he holds, and he's got the woman his mother who gave birth and remains a virgin. If he was ever in doubt as to God's ability to do all things, all of that was put to rest at the presentation. Because not only did he see the fulfillment of the virgin as it was translated, but he also got to carry the incarnate word. And this really goes to this idea of God of the impossible. Many years ago, there was a couple. One was a husband. The husband was a medical doctor, and the wife was a psychologist. And both of them were incredibly generous people. She gave freely of her professional time to people in the church. Especially, she specialised in children with behavioural difficulties. And anytime the church asked her to come and help, she would come and help. And the husband was also very generous. And it turned out one time that she went and she had to go see her GP, and the GP said, look, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have cancer all through your body. And she went to a friend of hers in the hospital who was a specialist and said, what's your advice? And the specialist said, not more than 3 months. And so she went to the priest and she said, look, I have 3 months. I'm going to accept. And the priest went to visit her at her home. And the husband wouldn't accept it. And he said, Father, I have never spoken a word about what I'm about to tell you. He said, I'm a GP. He said, I've given away thousands and thousands of dollars of medicines for free to people who could not afford it. I gave away my time, anything that anybody wanted. I've given away money to support families. I've never spoken a word about it. This is a true story, by the way. And he said, the Lord will not let me down now. He will not take my life. He was that sure of the faithfulness of the Lord And she went to do her scan again a couple of months later, and it came back completely clear. Not an ounce of cancer in her body. And her colleague at the hospital said, I don't believe in miracles, but that is the only word I have for it. And it tells us something about what is the problem. It's not God's ability, it's our faith. And being sure in the Lord that He's able to accomplish everything. Just as St. Simeon had doubted in his mind, because rationally it doesn't make sense. Medically it doesn't make sense. Scientifically it doesn't make sense. But with God, all things are possible. So let us have immense faith in the Lord, and that He will give us the confidence and the trust that we need in His ability to work in our lives.